Virgo season is really going to fortify these other energies into us. Hey y'all, welcome to Meryl's Mystic. I'm Meryl, and I empower witches, bitches, and dudes to complete themselves in order to have healthier soulmate relationships and more purposeful lives. And I'm also a tarot psychic medium, and I connect with the universe and the spirit world to bring you any messages that you may need to help navigate the ever-changing energy in on this crazy blue ball that we're flying through space on together. Welcome to my channel. If you've never been here before, I'm so happy you're here. If you've been here before and you're returning, I'm also happy you're here. Thank you so much for your support. Please be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, like, share with your friends, cross-watch. For the tarot scopes, I always recommend that you watch for your sun, moon, and rising sign. These are general readings, so the messages might not always land with you, and that's okay. You can leave them for someone else and wait for the messages that are meant for you. So today we are here to talk about Virgo season. Happy birthday, Virgos. I think we'll probably need a little bit of grounding after Leo season, although it was a really fun, fulfilling Leo season, and I hope that you got some of the Leo season magic in your world. And it's still time. There's still time. You can still go and watch your Leo season tarot scopes if you haven't. We definitely are going to have some of the fun, unapologetic energy carrying into Virgo season. So Virgo season goes from August 22nd, the evening of the 22nd, maybe the 23rd where you are, to September 21st. And so in the northern hemisphere, this is the end of summer and it is the end of winter in the southern hemisphere. And so Virgo season is a mutable sign, and mutable signs always come at the end of the earthly seasons. And then we have an Aquarius. Well, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. First, right before Virgo season turned to Virgo season, the evening before into the morning after, the 21st to the 22nd, is our second Aquarius full moon. And if you haven't watched the replay of the Aquarius full moon live, definitely go check out the energy reading for what the Aquarius full moon is. The second Aquarius full moon is bringing us. Leo season was bookended by these Aquarius full moons, and since it's literally pretty much happening the same day that Virgo season switches over, it's within the same 12-hour period that these energies are all transitioning. It's gonna carry a lot of that Aquarius energy, and some of the Leo energy that played with the Aquarius energy of being our unapologetic weird selves, no matter what it looks like on the outside. Some other dates that you'll need to remember is Venus went into Libra on August 16th and will be there until September 10th. Now, Venus rules Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. And so when planets are always in their ruling sign, they affect us much more powerfully. And when Venus is in Libra, it really has us prioritizing our emotions when it comes to relationships, not just romantic relationships. And really, I feel like I just heard love languages. And so I could see that this is a time where we're really going to be exploring what our love languages are, and also how do we communicate that to others. The Venus in Libra will be helping us communicate our boundaries also. Any of these forms of self-love, or how we love each other, how we love each other, how we want to be loved, all that kind of stuff is really going to be stirred up for those couple weeks, or It's just under a month. Next, the Virgo new moon is Tuesday, September 7th, and there will be a live probably like that Friday or Saturday before. Keep an eye on my social media to find out. And then we will have our full moon in Pisces right at the end of Virgo season on September 20th, which is interesting because we're going to really have kind of like a very Virgo-y Virgo season, since the full moon, a lot of the time the full moon can kind of help break up the energy of the season and can give us a nice balance to it. But we're having these moments now where the full moons are coming at the end of the season, so it's kind of like a highlight. So I'm very curious to see how this Virgo season, how the next month is kind of, I have a feeling the energy is going to kind of build up to this full moon. So all this Virgo energy is really we're still playing off of the energy from the season before. It's the theme of this year. And we're coming off of this very strong Leo Aquarius energy from Leo season, and it's being brought into Virgo season by this last Aquarius full moon. The Aquarius full moon is helping bring over this Leo season energy that was really highlighted by these Aquarius moons, and this energy of being our unapologetic self, being, even if it looked weird from the outside, and really like accepting who we are. And from Cancer season we got like, what do we really want and who are we really? And now in Virgo season, it's really about like just standing in that place, standing in who you are. I think Virgo energy sometimes can be overlooked because a lot of Virgos can appear to be introverted, or they can kind of stand off in the back. They like to be supporting players. And because it's just after Leo season, which is a very expansive energy, there is more of a contracting energy in Virgo season. And I think Virgo energy and Virgos in general can sometimes be easily overlooked because they all appear always to like have their shit together. Isn't that nice? Wouldn't that be great? Which, I have a Virgo moon, and so I have noticed that people are like, man, you really seem like you have your shit together. I'm like, well, at least it seems like I do. Maybe one day reality will catch up. So, but the really valuable thing about Virgos and Virgo energy is that they're an earth sign, and that they're usually very solid people. They usually already know what they want and what they're working towards, and they seem to be able to effortlessly balance like all the parts of their life. And so we really, that's the part of Virgo that we really need right now, especially after maybe some of the transitions or sacrifices that you felt you've been making this year in order to really step into who you are and to show up as the fullest embodiment of yourself. We really need this, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Virgo season is really going to fortify these other energies into us. So you can still go back and look at your Leo season tarot scopes. You can even go back and look at Cancer tarot scopes, because you really needed to know what Cancer season was bringing you in order to tap into Leo season, and then in Virgo season, that's all getting fortified within us. So it really doesn't matter when you watch these things, you get the messages when you're supposed to get the messages. So it really is kind of it's just about, and the word boundaries kind of kept coming up, but it's more than that. We were already setting boundaries at the beginning of this journey, we've already had a lot of this energy of like setting boundaries, and this is more just the boundaries are already set. It's about maintaining them. It's about holding those boundaries. It's about holding ourselves accountable for the intentions that we've set, and not allowing ourselves or others to take advantage of that. So another piece of this about boundaries and holding ourselves accountable is our rituals and our habits. And this started coming up with the Leo full moon, that we really needed to start looking closer at not just like our rituals and our routines, because we all need routine in a certain way, but it's also like our habits within our routines and the things that we are doing on autopilot, and we just do them all the time because we're used to it, and a lot of that stuff like you have to continue doing. But we also should be recognizing maybe the habits we formed that aren't really serving us anymore. The routines we've created that aren't setting us up for success. So this is really about like self-responsibility, because that's another quality associated with Virgo, responsibility. They are an earth sign. They know how to show up. They know how to get things done. They know how to make plans. So they're can-do people. They just do it in such a subtle way that unless you have a Virgo close to you that you know, you probably wouldn't even like realize like who the Virgos are. I always feel like it's a lot of times earth signs always surprise you that they're earth signs. Because most earth signs have a good sense of humor too, but they're naturally supportive people when they're not in their shadow, at least. But we all have a shadow. It's for every sign. Every sign has a light and a shadow side. So we're trying to focus on the light side of this energy. But there's always lessons that come with this energy also. And that brings us to our tarot card of the season, which is the Hermit. Virgo is associated with the Hermit card in the Major Arcana, and this is part of like why I feel like Virgo can get a bad rap, because they can easily isolate and be introverted. But I know a lot of Virgos that once you get them out of their shell, they're like out of their shell and they're like, we're gonna do this now. And so with the Hermit, and this is really great for this season, because the Hermit is all about like learning also. It's represented by a masculine figure. And if you notice that they are actually on top of a mountain here, like looking down on creation. And then you see the light in their lantern, and then the staff is actually very symbolic also. Staffs have been used as symbols in all sorts of beliefs and religions for a long time, and it's a symbol of like the way shower, the leader of the person that knows the way. And then we have the like literal light representation of light, and that's also of idea. And the thing about the Hermit is that, knowledge is power for sure, and Virgo is not a dummy at all. I feel like it's very rare to find a struggling Virgo. We're all human though. And the thing about the Hermit is though that the Hermit has to come out of their cave eventually. You can't just like hoard all this knowledge and education to yourself. You have to share it eventually. That is like a big lesson and message of the Hermit. And when it comes to this Virgo season, it's really great because we're having it highlighted by this Libra in Venus, and we're carrying over our lessons from Cancer and Leo season. And so, and this has all been about learning about ourselves, really, and learning about like how we are with people, and how we are with ourselves, and how we are in the world. And now it's time to fortify that and stand in it. And see, they're standing strong. They're looking down like, oh, there's probably some people I should let know what's going on. So it is about that, about being honest too about these things that we've learned about ourselves with those around us. So that's the general overview for Virgo season. Please be sure to follow me at Meryl's Mystic on all platforms so that you can dive deeper with me throughout the season. I do a live for the new moon and the full moon, and then those energy overviews will be posted on YouTube. Cool. Let's get into your taroscopes. Hi Libra. So good to see you. Thank you for being here. It's almost your season. One more. Excuse me while I itch my nose. And the fur baby comes into the room if you saw his tail. Alright, let's see what Virgo season's gonna bring for you, Libras. Four of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting. This is interesting because I don't really associate this energy with Libras very often. This is a very, can be a very like stifling, controlling energy. So when it's upright, usually it's like, okay, it's time to get things a little bit more controlled, or just a little bit more situated and organized. Like, it's just time to count, to, what's the phrase? I can't remember. It's time to, get all your ducks in a row, get things organized, make sure that you have more structure for your physical being, and for your financial being also. So when it's in reverse, though, it's kind of a warning of maybe you're being too stifling and too controlling of your environment, which I feel like is really weird for Libra. Libra's pretty go with the flow, but I could also see some Libras struggling if they know, it takes a lot for dual signs, especially air signs, to like really know what they want. So I can understand if a Libra like finally figures out what they want, then they know that that's what they want. And it can be difficult for the people around them when you're like, no, but I want this thing and I need it to go this way, and I need you to show up exactly in this way. And it's like, well, people can't always show up for us exactly the way that we want them to. And ironically, I shouldn't say ironically, and weirdly, I was just thinking of my friend's mother-in-law who's a Libra, who wants things to go a certain way, and when it might not go that way, she kind of ends up badgering everybody, like, because she's just so like, but this is exactly what I want, so why isn't everybody on board for this thing? So when this card comes up in reverse, it really is about like letting go a little bit, letting the reins loosen up a little bit, being more open to those around us, being a little more, I don't want to say necessarily loose, but a little bit more, just trying to be a little bit more balanced maybe of the I want it this way, and and go with the flow. 'Cause I want it that way. Nobody knows the meaning of the song. So anyway, balance. The next card is Temperance. So here is where our balance comes in. And it's really cool. I saw an old Temperance card the other day, and instead of there being 2 cups of water, I really liked it because I'm pretty sure they had like a cup of water and fire. Oh, excuse me. A cup of water and fire. And I feel like that's way more of the Temperance energy, is actually these 2 opposing forces or ideas that don't seem to go together, but you actually have to figure out how to like be the alchemist and get them to work together. And Libra, it can feel like you're doing that with yourself. It can be difficult for you to find that balance. And that's why sometimes Libra can swing that kind of that pendulum swing of from I don't know to okay, I know what I want, so that's how it's going to be. And it's about finding that middle ground. That middle ground of, allowing people to say, maybe I can't show up for you in this way. And I say, and then if they don't right away offer, like, well, but I can show up for you in this way, it's almost like it's time for you to ask the people around you, well, how can you show up for me? Not in like, well, how can you show up for me? It's like, well, is there something else you can do? Because I really need your support. Is there something else you can do? Because I really wanted to spend time with you. Is there something else you can do? Because, being honest about why it is important for them to be there. As lovey and through, you see the world through rose-colored glasses, I think, Libra, you can sometimes forget to actually say things to the ones you love, because the fact that you're invested in them and you talk to them all the time, that's how you show your love. And so you're like, well, of course I love you, otherwise, like, I would be wanting you there. But that's not how everyone else's love languages work. And so you might have to be reminding the people around you why you want them around you. We as people, we need to be, as people, society at large needs more, I don't want to say validation, because you should be able to validate yourself, but more like confirmation in our relationships. We need to be confirming to each other more about why we're in relationship with each other, and why we really love each other, and why we like each other, not just, hey, I love you, I showed up for you. It's like, I love you because of this, or I understand you can't do this, but I want to spend time with you, so can we do this instead? So there is something about like opening up like a channel of communication here for you, so that you can feel more in balance in yourself and in your world. Oh, interesting. So then there's some inner conflict going on, Libra. Like, wow. Tower reverse, 5 of Wands in reverse. So what's happening? You risk, I think it's almost like you might be taking some of like the people and things that you have for granted a little bit, and if you don't start really showing your appreciation for these things and don't start finding some sort of a middle ground and a balance with these things, like, you risk having your own tower moment, like making it happen on your own. Like this internal conflict that you're having, or it's almost like the risk is having the internal conflict. Like right now you could be like, oh no, everything's fine, everyone knows how I feel, and everybody knows like that I love them, and it's good, everyone's good. And then there's all of a sudden you find out that like somebody really close to you is like, well, I didn't even think you appreciated me. You know, like, you say thank you for this, but like, I need more. And you might need more from somebody else. And you might not be telling them that, and they don't know. How do they know? We don't help each other also learn how to treat us. We don't say, "Hey, I really appreciate you like doing this thing for me, but my boundary is here, and this is what I'm actually looking for. I really appreciate you trying to do this thing for me, but this is actually how I would really feel supported from you." We don't let each other know, and I should stop saying like we, because there's a lot of people out there that do work on it. So, society at large, we're not taught these skills. And it's something that's seriously lacking within society and within our relationships. And there is something about Virgo season that has like a love language feel to it, and it's definitely like that Libra and Venus for half of the season, that Venus in Libra. So Venus is going to also be in your sign, so that's probably why this is also coming up too for you. Is like you can't just keep all of this inside, and look like, oh, it's fine, I'm fine, I totally understand. Because that's the other thing, Libra, is you can be a little too understanding, and then all of a sudden people are walking all over you and they don't even realize they're doing it, because you're like, no, it's cool, like, I love you no matter what, don't worry about it. The Hangman in reverse. Virgo's just got the Hangman upright. So much resistance all of a sudden. There's like so much resistance all of a sudden. I think because Leo season was like so fun and like it was so like enjoyable, so now there's like a little bit of this like a little bit more retracting, contracting energy, and we're resistant because we were like, no, we've been freaking trapped inside for a year and I finally got to go out. And then it's like, and then here's the Delta variant, like, back inside. And here's Virgo season, back inside. It's ironic, the timing and the synchronicity of it all. Because there is something happening internally for you. And what is it? Nobody will know. Nobody knows until you tell them. How would they know? How would they know? Let's see what's going on here. Well, there's some things happening because it's looking like you might be needing to leave a situation and move on and figure out a new exciting place to go. Whether it's like a relationship or a job, it feels like more of a relationship to a certain degree. Or maybe you need to let somebody walk away from you and it's time to find greener pastures. And that's okay. There is strength. There's a Leo season we just had. So what's been strengthening you through Leo season? What's made you connect more in this last month with yourself and who you are? And is this internal conflict coming from letting that out into the world, or just communicating with people around you who you are and what you want? Because you might have changed your mind, and that's okay. It's totally okay to change your mind. My partner and I have to remember that all the time, like that we change as people, our needs constantly change, like, so we can't expect people to just pick up what we need and how we've changed and how what we need changes. Because then that's how miscommunications happen, and then fights start, and then all of a sudden we're in a much more unfortunate situation than we want to be. And all you had to do was tell somebody how you really felt, or what you were really going through. And Libra, I guarantee you the people around you love you and want to know. They want to know. Let them in. I think Libra can make it seem like they're letting people in, but they really only like let in people. So find those people who you really want to let in, and tell them. They will so appreciate you sharing what you want for once with them. Like, come on. You deserve it, Libra. You deserve to be treated the way you want to be treated. Okay. Here's the Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. And you got the Hunter Moon Abundance. It's interesting. Let's see how it ties in with what we were talking about. I'm hearing some stuff in the background, but let's see. Take advantage of this time of abundance. It is all around you. Possibility and opportunity are everywhere. You are open and responsive to the abundance around you. There is enough for everyone. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's part of why you don't always say what you want or don't fully communicate how you're feeling. Because there is a holding back in this Tower and Hanged Man in reverse. There's this holding back where it's you don't trust that there's enough people out there to want to listen, or enough energy and attention to go around for you too. It's you guys are so empathetic and kind that sometimes it can be you can almost turn into an Eeyore and be like, thanks for noticing me, it's all good, I'm cool being over here. I'm like, no you're not, shut up. No you're not, you don't want to be that, come on, there's enough to go around, there's enough love, there's enough people, there's enough everything that you need. The mantra is, I am abundant and I am surrounded by opportunity. I'm abundant and I'm surrounded by opportunity. I am abundant and I'm surrounded by opportunity. I'm trying to figure out how to make those into songs. I can write lyrics, just not very good tunes. I need my partner for the tunage. I am abundant and I am surrounded by opportunity. The Hunter Moon is the traditional moon of plenty. It was when game was at its most plentiful, so the people would not go hungry. The moon was large and bright in the sky, and in some cases deep orange, and there was a great deal of light to go hunting well into the evening. So this might actually... this moon normally rises in October in the northern hemisphere, and so was before the winter snow. So this is your moon during your time. Our ancient ancestors couldn't just go off to the supermarket to buy what they need to eat. Meat didn't come on trays wrapped in plastic. Eggs were gathered. Warm clothing was made from skins of the same animal that were hunted for meat. Nothing was wasted. This abundance was part of a cycle, just like any other. It wasn't present all the time, so this time of the year was to be taken advantage of while the going was good. The bareness of winter would soon return. Hunters had to be prepared. They had to have their weapons ready and their tracking skills honed. As modern people, we are less used to these natural cycles of plenty and barrenness, because most of us have stepped away from growing food in the natural environment. However, these cycles are still there, even if we are not a part of them consciously. Companion stone is citrine. Citrine's a very cool stone. So there is something about a consciousness here, being conscious about what you're doing and who you're doing it with and what you're saying and what you're not saying. There's also something about this Virgo season coming up of a theme of honesty and being honest with what we want and how we feel with others. It's first we had to figure it out for ourselves, and now it's time to share with people around us. And it's ready. This Venus in Libra is supporting all of us to be this honest and to receive that honesty from the people that we love also. It's gonna be good. Okay, Libra, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. I love you, and I will see you for your season next time. Bye.